Votes of confidence are a good thing, but do they really actually mean anything? Not necessarily. A lot of times it's actions over words, it's contracts that are signed. And I like, sure, Jimmy Haslam coming out of the owners' meetings yesterday. Yeah, Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, all right. Does it really mean anything? When you read the article from Jeremy Fowler yesterday that Jimmy Haslam leaving the owners' meetings expressed support for Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry. You actually sit there with a sigh of relief. You think Berry and Stefanski wake up today and be like, all right, we're good, thank God. No, and I know they just signed contract extensions. I know this season has been hell. But does it really actually change the position where they're at? It was always seeming like it was leaning towards them bringing these two back. You had a lot of other problems. The perplexing word that that Jimmy Haslam used. They couldn't figure out why last year a lot of the same things happened and you made the playoffs and you won all these games. You didn't this year. He said it's perplexing.
I don't think it's very perplexing.
I don't either, Ryan, and I have the answer.
I think it's quite simple. We'll get to it.
When we dive into it, we're going to do it here in this morning. It is a lot of the same. Deshaun Watson went down. You have the vast majority of the same players. You made the playoffs last year. Now, you're about as far away as you could be. What happened? I actually have the answer. Send this to Jimmy. I want to send this over to the Cleveland Browns today. I've got the answer why. And I haven't heard it anywhere. I haven't heard anyone bring this up about exactly why things are so different from a year ago with the Cleveland Browns. So we'll get to that. Plenty to continue to talk about that. Head coach openings. I go to the mailbag. Dan Graziano, Jeremy Fowler. They talk about all the openings and Mike Vrabel. Pick of the litter, maybe, for Vrabel. And they have a pick that I didn't think about, a connection for Mike Vrabel on his opening. Obviously, we all know he's going to leave the Browns. We'll get to that. A few draft nuggets I want to get to as well. Thursday Night Football, Belichick going to college. And an interesting article from Seth Wickersham this morning. He always does like these little like investigative pieces and stuff like that. He's got one talking about Belichick going to college. A Belichick confidant said to Seth Wickersham, this is a big F-U to the NFL from Bill Belichick. We'll read into that a little bit. We'll get to timeout. We got the grid. We'll get to the bracket, morning update. Stay safe out there. We'll keep you busy for the next couple hours. We got you right here on a Thursday edition on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Go slow.
It's not even bad out.
Nay. Do you want to know what screws things up?
People just can't drive.
No, here's what I think screws up the side streets. People zoom through lights or they get stuck sitting in an intersection. Because it is icy. It's cold. It's icy. The snow is not all that bad.
It's not even icy, though.
But it takes 3 a-hole drivers to screw up miles worth of traffic. Now, on the east side, they're getting slammed. You came from the east side. I'm talking about like out in like Lake County.
I don't know how much longer I can do this.
Just live in the studio. I've slept in the studio. Not this studio, but I've slept in studios before. Like when I knew it was going to be really bad.
If I didn't have a dog, I would.
Bring your dog.
No.
Why not? Because she wouldn't handle it?
She'll eat everything.
So what? Garage beer? She like garage beer? There's plenty of that in here. There was a time that we were going to get bad weather. I got off the air like at 11, and we needed to be back for a 7 a.m. show. So, like, you start prep at 6. I'm like, even if I left now at 11, I wouldn't get home till 12, and I would probably want to get on the road by 4. I brought a blanket. I slept on a chair in the studio. I got like 4 hours of sleep, woke up, did a show. But we've all been there before. So stay safe out there. You people working from home, count your blessings. My wife works from home mostly. And there's days that, like, she'll go into the office and she comes home. She goes, I realized how nice it is to work from home. So stay safe. We're with you. Go slow. The sun is out, which should help a little bit. But we got you over the next couple hours. So yesterday at the owners' meetings, we're up on Twitter X at Matt Fontana Show. Instagram, YouTube is Big Play, presented by our great friends at Fairway 4. How many people driving this morning going, I'm sick of this vehicle that I'm in? Your dehumidifier. Your defroster isn't working. You don't have the heated seats. You're missing on the four-wheel drive. Go to Fairway Ford. FairwayFordOhio.com. Get that new ride for you to deal with the winter here. So yesterday, coming out of the owners' meetings, Jimmy Haslam gave a few comments about the situation of the Browns and his head coach and general manager. So this is from Jeremy Fowler. I know it's been picked up a couple other places. So number one, Haslams speaking to ESPN as he left the owners' meetings yesterday. We went from 11-6 and making the playoffs to 3-10. So it's a little perplexing on what happened. Got my answer in a second. When asked about the outlook of the quarterback position, we need to get through the season, and then we'll look at everything. Haslam said the Browns have a lot of needs as a team, including a new stadium. We're disappointed, he said. We've got a lot of work to do. We'll go back and go to work. Here's an interesting quote. I've learned not to get too emotional during the season. We'll sit down after and go through everything for next year. The part about Berry and Haslam, or Berry and Stefanski. When asked whether the right players are in place, he has the right players in place with Stefanski and Berry, he added, I do, we do, we're very supportive of, again, sounds like Berry more than that, than Kevin Stefanski. So I do want to post our question this morning. If you were the Browns, what would you do? Okay? I'm going to wait because I have 4 options for it. I don't want you to get fouled up over there.
Oh, I have a good one.
Jeremy Fowler's article. Different fouls. There's waterfowl, and then there's a fowl in basketball.
And isn't that a type of meat? Fowl? Poultry?
Yeah, waterfowl. Like a duck.
Oh, is that what you said?
Yeah, duck. Yeah, duck. Waterfowl is usually how it goes. All right. What would you do? A, Berry goes. B, Stefanski goes. C, they both go. D.
Let me guess. Both stay?
Wrong! No, I'm just kidding. That is exactly it. They both stay. Do I say the word both weird? I add an L. I can't help it.
Say it?
Both.
Both.
I see. I can't do it.
Yeah, both.
Can't do it. I used to do
Both.
either, neither, both. And this is exactly what this is. Berry goes, Stefanski goes, they both go, they both stay. That's our question this morning. So Haslam giving that vote of confidence, number one is him walking out of the owners' meetings. Do you really think he saw Jeremy Fowler and goes, yeah, man, we're blowing this up. These guys suck and we're moving on? No. He caught him. Go, what do you think? And he goes, well, we'll figure it out later. That's in essence of what he said. Now, it's fine that he's not lighting a fire right now and he's not giving hints of it being blown up. And like you said, if he says, I learned to not be so emotional, good. I don't want to say finally, but here we are. All right, great. You don't want to make these decisions now. You don't want to make it while you're angry. You want to sit down and take the full view picture of it. Now, the problem is going to be is if they go into these meetings and they basically ask Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski to give them reasons to not fire them. If they sit down with them and go, well, how do you think you did this year? They're basically interviewing for the job that they already have. You don't want to have that. We also can't forget that the Haslams know more than we do about the inner workings of what is actually going on with the Cleveland Browns. They know the draft picks that were made. They know what's going on with this Jed Wills situation. They know what's going on with the offense, all that stuff. They've got the inside track to actually understand what is going on with the Browns. So then that comes back to when Jimmy Haslam said he's perplexed about what happened of going 11-6 last year to now 3-10. When you look at it and the situation is about the same, you would actually make the case, Ryan, that this year is better because I didn't have to start 4 quarterbacks, 5 if you count Driscoll. No. When you think about it, this should be better.
It should be, there's a multitude of reasons we'll talk about. But when you talk about having to start 4 quarterbacks last year, it's almost like that was a reason you won. I know it sounds crazy, but did some of those quarterbacks, B.J. Walker, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, win you some games that maybe Deshaun Watson wouldn't have?
No, because when you really go watch the box score, or not watch the box.
I don't know.
When you
I get your point,
but P.J. they won kind of despite those guys, in my opinion.
Right. No, you're
those
right.
guys were not out there throwing touchdowns. Like, that's my whole point. If you put Jameis...
outside of Flacco, yes.
Right. You put Jameis or a full season of Flacco, you'd probably even be better off. So what is the difference, right? You had a lot more change last year. You brought back the vast majority of these players that went through the same thing, and you are the complete opposite of where you were at last year. That's what Jimmy's talking about. Why, when he goes, this is so perplexing. And I don't mind saying this. I heard this from somebody that earlier this season, the Browns really sat there and had no answers of why Deshaun Watson wasn't good. I had somebody tell me that's from about as high up as you could get. Ryan knows.
I do know.
I told you.
I told you.
You did, and then I got more information off of that. You're right.
I got sources.
You do.
I'm young in the industry.
News break. Wait, hey, man, they're going to need some
I'm young
news
in
breaker.
the industry, but I got a couple sources up my
They
sleeve.
sat there and, again, to use the word perplexed, had no idea why things weren't working, okay? You want to know why? Here's the clip to send to the Browns today. Do you know why the Browns are perplexed of what happened last year, what's happening this year when it all looks the same? I'll give you one guess who it comes back to. It's Deshaun Watson. Because you want to know what changed from last year to this year? Last year, they still had hope that he was going to be good. Hope was the driving force on that team. Where last year, when he got hurt, there was some good football on tape. And you could say, all right, if we just keep this together, win as many games, he's going to come back, and think about how much better off we're going to be when he gets back. This year, you lost all hope that he was going to be anything for you. And that has now bled into every person on that team where they're throwing their hands up and saying, we're screwed. With the money, with his play, with all of it. That is what has changed from last year to this year. You could buy yourself into Deshaun Watson coming back and being good last year. That ship has sailed and sunk next to the Edmund Fitzgerald out in the lake.
Good beer.
I know it's not out. It's not in Lake Erie. It's over there. But still.
Great beer.
That is a damn good beer. And RIP to the 29. That's your difference. It finally has hit that there's nothing left. And that is the hopelessness that has drugged the Cleveland Browns down to where they're at. Sure, they got up for the Ravens game and they got up for the Steelers game, but it's all this just sixth sense in the back of your head that you don't know what's going to happen. Hope can be a scary thing. But when you put all your eggs into the basket of thinking Deshaun Watson's coming back, at least it kept them going, Ryan. At least that kept the team believing for a second, or a season, I should say, that maybe this eventually will turn. Now you are a rudderless ship. You don't know what they're going to do. And it's scary. You know, we're fans. We do this. Think about the players. They don't know what the Browns are going to do next year. At least last year, you could buy yourself into, well, it was all false at the end of the day. Hey, man, if he just comes back and if we just keep going here and we show out, we're going to be all right. This is going to be all right. You can't say that anymore about the Browns. You cannot even talk yourself into the idea that everything's going to be all right. Yeah, we got options and draft a quarterback or bring Jameis back or all that other kind of stuff. That is what has changed for the Cleveland Browns. That's the answer to Jimmy Haslam. He's perplexed about why this has happened. I hate to tell you, it comes back to Deshaun Watson. Where, again, if Watson had played well, I think we're singing a different tune. And even if he goes down with the Achilles, we're singing a different tune, and this team would be better. I know for a fact this team, and I'm not even talking about just the wins that he maybe would have gotten. I'm talking about there would have still been belief and hope. Yeah, you could be negative and go, all right, we got a quarterback that's had 2 season-ending injuries and all that, but you can at least talk yourself into it. That is what the Browns have lost. Outside of the money, outside of the draft picks, the thing that maybe Deshaun Watson has taken away from this team that has meant the most is hope and belief, because it's gone and it's dead and it's over. You are going to have to now recreate that. And I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that's part of the reason that I'm starting to think more about drafting a quarterback, because I need some hope. I need something to sink my teeth into to believe that we'll get back there one day. Now, they might tell you it's better to get one later and we can bridge this with Jameis Winston. I'm sorry. I like Jameis a lot. I don't have much hope there anymore. I don't have much belief that this is your forever answer. And you could try to say, well, you don't need the forever answer right now. I can't wait around anymore. We just made the playoffs last year. Fine. But the one thing that has changed the most is the loss of that belief and hope. That's the perplexing part, which isn't perplexing, right? Because we just answered the question for Jimmy Haslam right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously 100% I agree with everything you're saying. The big part is Deshaun Watson, the deal that everything came with him, but then the trickle-down effects. But even then, it's like, I don't think there's a lot of things. I mean, I can make a laundry list of reasons that this team is 3-10, and just last year's team, you won 11 games, when a lot of the people are still the same in the room, right? I mean, you start with, you were playing early in the season last year. I mean, guys like Clayton Tune, Gardner Minshew actually had a good game against us, right? But like, you had such an easier schedule. The offensive line has gotten older, regressed. You lost Bill Callahan. And I don't know, take this for what you will, but another person here at Big Play said they had a prominent source that said, similar to Alex Van Pelt getting fired, he spoke out about Deshaun Watson saying, this guy isn't the answer. He's not going to be good again. They said the same thing, that Bill Callahan was probably going to go with coach with his son Brian in Tennessee, but he said the same thing. My guys can't block for this guy when he won't stay in a clean pocket.
Sure.
How am I going to get my guys to block for a quarterback who isn't good? And that ultimately led him to saying, okay, that's the final thing. I might as well 100% go coach with my son.
No, and that maybe has a part to do with it. I think, yeah, when you factor it all up, it's not like Bill Callahan was leaving the Dynasty Patriots. It's not like he was leaving a job with the Chiefs. The job was good. He was one of the highest paid assistants in the NFL. So I always would think the number one thing was he wanted to go coach with his son. But yeah, was there a lot of ties to come back here? Who knows? And I know Bill knows this too. If his son gets fired after next year in Tennessee, he could probably have his pick a litter of jobs again. Come back to Cleveland. Who knows? You never know. Don't ever burn bridges. Important thing. But like, yeah, you never know what could happen there. And there was, I don't want to say that the ball was, things weren't set in motion that this team was going to be bad this year. How many days do we debate the Bill Callahan loss and all that other kind of stuff? But like, it just kind of comes back to you lost the magic. And what is usually magic? Belief and hope. That's what you lost. And to really dive through all of this and to understand that it just was Deshaun Watson. And people want to say, "Oh, you're just beating a dead horse with this. You're just going to keep jumping on and blaming Deshaun Watson." Why not? Go ahead. So what? If that is truly the issue with the team right now, and the word I was going to say is the cancer in there, then get rid of it. Be done with it. You will eventually. We're not there yet, but you'll get there eventually. And is it that bad? Is it that true? Can this statement even be true? That one person could sink an entire franchise?
Yes.
With an owner, sure. An owner, yeah, obviously. A coach, yeah, maybe.
With the contract, the answer is yes.
And that's maybe what happened here. So for Jimmy to sit there and say he's perplexed about this, it's like, I don't think it's that hard.
Well,
and the thing is, I don't mean to cut you off. Sorry, one last thing. He's not going to say that to Jeremy Fowler. You know what I mean? Like, again, you got to take all of this. Great reporting from Jeremy, and I'm glad that he was there to ask him these questions and all this kind of stuff. You're Jimmy Haslam, and I come running up to you with a microphone. Jimmy, what do you think of, what's going on? Hey, man, we got to evaluate everything. We'll cross that bridge after the season. I believe in the work that these guys are doing. We got to take a big look at this. Of course. He's not going to sit there and say Deshaun Watson screwed us over, and I'm going to fire everybody. He's not going to say that. So you got to take it all for what it is. But at least the first thought he had was, well, at least I'll give a little bit here to Stefanski and Berry. At least there was that.
And if we're talking about being perplexed, like you said, I mean, you agree, it's honestly not rocket science, right? Like, outside of the 11-win year last year, you go to the playoffs mainly because of Joe Flacco and Kevin Stefanski. The Deshaun Watson experience has been absolutely horrible. right? The first year he was suspended, you did whatever you could with Jacoby Brissett. Second year he comes out, he doesn't even look that great, gets injured, and now he tears his Achilles here in the third year, right? Like, you had one good season of hope and what looked like you were a good team because, like you like to say, you caught magic, right? Lightning in a bottle with Joe Flacco, which is fine. I agree with that. When you start starting quarterbacks in a season, like, you're usually not going to the playoffs. That's why Kevin Stefanski won Coach of the Year. When you got rid of Baker, and I understand he wouldn't have been who he was now if he stayed, but you totally transformed that culture. You changed the leader. You gave more money, the richest guaranteed contract at the point, to a player who has done nothing but not produced. Like, what is perplexing about this? The whole Deshaun Watson experience has been horrible.
Right.
Nothing's perplexing about it.
That's exactly it. That's where, and again, I don't think he's going to say that in that setting. He might not ever say that. But, they're going to release Deshaun Watson eventually. And they'll talk to Jimmy and D. Haslam. And it didn't work. It just didn't work. And we wish Deshaun the best. And we tried and all that kind of stuff. They'll never come out and say, yeah, this was a colossal failure and he didn't do anything here for us. That's just not what they can do. And frankly, I don't want them to do that. The part where he said, I've learned to not be so emotional during the season. We can be, right? And I have learned this as I've grown up, right? I am sometimes a very reactionary type of person. And I need to take a step aside, sleep on it overnight before then I think through things or figure it out, right? Like, that's just part of life. And I appreciate the Haslams doing that. And I do think with Berry still being here, that is telling me who made this deal.
Right. And so why?
And so it's like,
I agree with you in the sense that I don't need them to come out and say this whole Deshaun Watson thing has been a failure. What does that do? That does nothing for anybody. I get that, but
they're also never going to come out and say it was us.
Why not? I would understand if you don't want to be like, if it was Andrew Berry, you want to be like, you don't want to throw him under the bus, like, oh, this was all Andrew Berry, right? Yeah. You fire him, whatever, burn bridges, whatever. That's not necessary. But then, okay, yes, you keep Berry. Then if you're talking about out here giving your vote of confidence, why can't you back it up saying he didn't orchestrate this deal?
They're never going to admit that for a couple of reasons. Number one, they're the owners of the team, so they can do whatever they want. Number two, does it actually serve a purpose?
Maybe not. Well, I don't know.
I could learn from it. I don't need them to tell me anything. Just learn from it and don't make this mistake again, which is clearly something I hope they're never going to do.
I could say it wouldn't have any effect internally in the organization. It certainly would externally, but not that matters to them. I get that. But even then, maybe it would have an effect internally if they came out and said it wasn't.
But everybody internally already knows.
So do they though?
Yeah.
Even the players?
I would imagine so.
Then how has that not gotten leaked yet? If the players know that, there's no way that has not gotten leaked yet.
I'll give you that. That's a good point.
No way.
I guess it's just so
after all the drama, Mark Cooper
obvious.
Putting rust on his Instagram story, all the social media that we've gone. There's no way that if the players knew that, that's not leaked yet.
And they're going to fall back on the collective. They're going to say collectively as a group we made this decision. Somebody still had to bring it to the table. Somebody still had to bring this up.
Well, then even if the Haslams did do it, I'll give you another reason to just come out and admit you did it. How about you do it so Andrew Berry doesn't keep having a target on his back?
That is part of the job one way or another. When you sign up to be an NFL head coach or an NFL general manager, you want a giant bullseye on your back one way or another.
I don't know. You're talking about Haslams learning from their mistakes. I feel like the best way to learn from a mistake is to admit it. Even if I understand maybe he's admitting it internally, privately, but I think there'd be a lot to it, actually, if he came out and said that.
I actually don't. I really don't, because we all have the idea. All it would do is give you vindication. All that would do is just give you here's your pound of flesh, and I don't think that serves a purpose.
I think only if the players don't know, I think it would.
I'll give you that. You're probably right, because loose lips sink ships, right? Another ship reference here on the show. Like, the more people that know, that's why I don't think the NFL is rigged. Do you know how many people would have to be involved with the NFL being rigged and then nobody to say anything? But that's another story for another day. Like, you're probably right. And that's the thing. They could all just have ideas. Here's the thing. There's probably only 5 people that actually really know. Jimmy, D, JW, Paul D. Podesta, and Andrew Berry. You know how I left out of that? Kevin Stefanski. There is actually a world that he doesn't even know the full truth. Probably not, but I really think there's only about 6 people. That's it.
I think I understand that you have to keep things in-house, And even if they do, whatever, that's fine. But like, let's say, okay, eventually you have to move on from Andrew Berry. What GM? I understand any GM is an attractive job to get your foot in the door. I understand that. Nobody's going to turn it down. But if you want a top pick at GM, somebody that you really know has leverage and they're good, and you want somebody who has their pick of the litter. That's who you want. You want them to pick you.
Mm-hmm.
Who would want to come to that situation where you just saw what they did to Andrew Berry?
Sure. My counter to that, there's drama with every general manager and owners.
I get
there
that.
Always is.
I get that, but there's
at the end of the
levels
day, those internal discussions, at that point, revisiting doesn't matter. Because what you would say is if you're a GM sitting down with the Haslams, and you know probably in the back of your mind, and maybe even you talked to Andrew Berry, yep, they were the ones that forced the hand on this move, and it was my job to facilitate this move. Number one, that's not uncommon in the NFL. It's really not. And number two, does that actually have any bearing on your interview? Because you would sit down and ask, what? Are you going to get involved with what I do? The answer is always going to be yes. The answer forever and always will be yes. Will NFL owners get involved with their football team and sometimes personnel? Forever and always, yes. That's it. So it doesn't serve anything to go, really, what did you do to Andrew Berry? And that's under the guise that they would move on from him. And that could be something, again, when you talk about building this team and building the culture, this is something where, it's not leaked out, and Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski have been amazing soldiers in this and keep taking the arrows.
So when is Jimmy Haslam going to cut ties with DePodesta then?
That's a whole nother crux in this argument.
Because if it's not Stefanski, obviously, and it's not Berry, well, then you know who it is.
Well, that's the other thing. This is a results-oriented business. So the perplexing part, I keep coming back to that. I think it's so interesting. Because the perplexing part is what? The Haslams probably believe that we followed the same script as last year, but we're getting different results. They ran a science experiment, and they poured this into this, and last time it was green. They poured this into this time, and now it's blue. And you go, well, wait a minute, what happened? Then you start asking yourself, why? This was asked me a long time ago. And it's kind of a corporate CEO type of statement. But I think it's an interesting one. And I've carried this with me. Shout out to Evan Cohen. Evan asked me one time, he goes, do you think this is a person problem or a process problem? And my comeback to that individual answer at that time when we were trying to figure out a problem, I said, Evan, isn't people a part of the process? Is that, like, what if I have the perfect process in place, but somebody screwed that up? He goes, then it's a people problem. And if you have the perfect people that executed a bad process, then it's a process problem. That is the whole crux of what the Haslam's trying to answer right now. Is this a people problem or is this a process problem? Now, the process is a horrible one. Not having a franchise quarterback and starting 4 quarterbacks last year to make the playoffs, that's not a good process. That's not easy to replicate, okay? But they felt like we did it last year. What's different? The answer has got to then be the people. And that's where I think it comes back to they lost their hope. And the people that you had make that process work a year ago, they're not the same people. Yeah, it's Myles Garrett. Yeah, it's still Joe Bitonio. But they lost something. And that comes back to the season went down the tubes by week 3. Well, sorry, week 3 we beat Jacksonville. But
no, it was week 2. Week 3 we lost to the Giants.
That's right. That's right. And you brought up a good point. The 2 teams vying for the number 1 pick each have 3 wins, and they both beat us. Different times, but still. They got to ask themselves that and to figure out where they're at. So the perplexing thing is important because you need them to try to learn so they can get better moving forward. But I also kind of throw my hands up and say, what are you going to learn from this situation other than something that was obviously and painfully clear? Shouldn't have given Deshaun Watson that deal. You can only come back to that so many times before you beat yourself over the head and just realize that's it. But what can you learn from this? Okay, can I make a weird statement for you here in a second? I need some coffee for this one. I also don't know if I want them to then be gun shy on something. Let's say you are so jaded and broken on this Deshaun Watson deal. Josh Allen comes available, right?
Well, here's the thing.
That'll never happen. I'm just bringing it up for conversation. But, like, you want them to learn, but also I don't want them to not be aggressive and go get players. It's just that the player didn't work out.
Yes, I totally understand what you're saying, and I agree. I don't want them to now. You can't just put your head behind your tail, right? You can't just totally not go out and make these deals. If you want to be competitive, you have to learn from your mistakes, and you have to not be afraid to act on something in the future. I get that. But that would be a difference. It's, hey, let's learn from this. Don't be afraid to go out and give that money to a player who you think could be great. That's what you have to do. But you can also decipher the difference between a situation of a guy who's just good at football and available rather than a guy who has 26 sexual assault allegations, who you knew was going to be absent from football for a while and who's going to be in the public eye. I mean, it's not apples to apples there, Matt.
No, it's not.
Look at the thing. And for a guy who you had to guarantee the most rich contract in history for him to come to your team, because if you didn't do that, he wasn't coming here.
Well, and that goes back to a great point you brought up about GMs, right? You want somebody to pick you. I don't think Deshaun Watson wanted to pick the Cleveland Browns.
He didn't until
he wanted to go to Atlanta.
Here's all your money so you can settle your lawsuits,
well, again,
buddy.
He allegedly said he didn't know about the money.
Which is a total lie.
I know. I got it. I'm with you. But that's the other problem in this whole thing. That's it. So, I just, again, I think it's good that he said what he said yesterday about Jimmy Haslam. I'm glad that he's got the thumb up for Berry and Stefanski. And the perplexing part is pretty easy to understand. It's pretty easy to understand about the missteps the Browns have made to get to this spot. That's it. And it sucks. And what they're going to do from here to get us out. I'm not big in rehashing and getting my blame and focusing here. And that's why maybe I'm not as angry about Deshaun Watson as some other people are. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. They rolled the dice and you bust. That's what happened. I don't blame them for doing that. I don't. Yes, I didn't like that he had all those allegations, and obviously we know it hasn't worked. But I appreciate them doing it. They tried. And I don't want them to not step back up to that table. New shooter, here we go. Throw the dice. Let's go again. That's the only, honestly, it might be the only way out of this thing anyway. But I just, this all aside, what has happened has happened. And I frankly don't want to revisit all of it. And I'm going to put my energy towards what is best for this team moving forward. And there's a lot. And that comes back to the other part. We will sit down after this season and recalibrate and recalculate what's going on. Should Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski be a part of that? We'll vote on that in a second. Our votes are getting up. Reflog on the retweet there. We got a lot of votes on that. At Matt Fontana Show. We'll revisit that in just a second. You need to go visit Fairway Ford, fairwayfordohio.com. The Christmas sale is on. 1.9% APR potential for up to 60 months. No payments for 90 days and over 300 F-150s available. I'm going to do it right now. Fairwayfordohio.com. Chat feature is right there. Family owned and operated for over 20 years. Parts department, service department. They got it all for you. Let's go new. What do you want today? F-150, Raptor, Broncos, the SUVs? What about the Explorer? I'm driving Explorer. Let's say the Fontanas want to update their Explorer here, all right? Here's what we got. Oh, Ryan. Ooh. Wow. They got a... I might send this to my wife. 2025 Explorer ST line with the big rim package. Exterior carbonized gray metallic. It's got the sick rims on it, man. This is a demo special with $5,000 off MSRP. That beautiful thing is under $50,000, right? Wow. Financing is available. Then they have a similar one here that's white. Same rim package, but it's got the exterior star white metallic. And the interior is onyx. Dude, I'm looking at some of these beautiful Explorers. How about the Explorer Active, ST, XLT? The Active is the new one, is it not? Like the new shoot-off of the Explorers here. They got some great deals. Wow. Right here, $4,000 off, $5,000 off. Folks, that's what you get with Fairway Ford. The Explorers, the F-150s, anything that you need, they're going to get you a deal. At the end of the day, that's what you care about, right? You want your money off, or again, you don't mind paying a little bit more, but you want your payment lower. You can work with them. And the thing is, they work with you. That's one of the best things about going to Fairway Ford. They're willing to work with you because they like making deals, because they like moving deals. They like moving cars here. So they'll sit down with you. It's not, nope, you better take our deal here. I was talking to Brian about this a little while ago, Brian from Fairway Ford. He goes, Matt, I hate to admit to you, and I'm going to do it anyway. He goes, I made some bad deals. He goes, I made some bad deals this week. Bad deals in the sense of not the best. Like, we could have squeezed a little bit more money out of this. That's not what they care about. That's not really what they care about. They care about getting you in the right vehicle for the right price. Whatever percentage you need there on the APR, the money that you need off. But even just start here. Again, just all of these have a discount on them right now. Off the MSRP. Add fairwayfordohio.com to your search. Very rarely do you wake up today and go, I'm going to go buy a car. Just when you search, go to fairwayfordohio.com. They have a chat feature right on there. Ask them about these vehicles. Ask them about the pre-owned and get in there for the Christmas sale. Again, 21st is coming up. Stock the trunks, fill the trunks for the Animal Charity of Ohio. That'll be out there on the 21st, 10 to 2. And you can take your pets out there and get your picture with Santa as well. It's a short drive to Canfield to save thousands off a vehicle. It's well worth it with our friends at Fairway Ford. Tell them we sent you from us here at Big Play in the Show, and we appreciate them very much, and they want to wish you a very happy holiday season from our friends at Fairway Ford. Time for us to vote, Ryan. Our Twitter question is up, at Matt Fontana Show. What would you do if you were the Browns? Berry goes. Stefanski goes. They both go. They both stay. Cast your vote, young Ryan.
I will be voting for Andrew.
Don't let that influence you.
I never let it influence me. I already voted on my personal.
Watch for our picks tomorrow and tell me that Ryan doesn't get influenced by it. Okay, fine, go ahead.
I definitely don't. I already voted on my personal Twitter. I say Andrew Berry goes. I want to keep Stefanski.
Okay.
Now, I know you're going to say both stay.
Come here.
What?
Come here. I voted Berry goes.
I didn't expect that.
I did not think I was going to do that, but I did. I didn't think I was going to do that, but I did. Here's my reason, okay? Something has to change. Something has got to change with this team. This is not good enough. And I want Kevin Stefanski to stay. I think he's good. I think he can figure it out with the right pieces. So if I need him to stay, but I got to change something, that's what it's going to have to be.
Yeah. You can take the Deshaun Watson, all of that outside too.
Exactly.
And you can still make a case that he has not done a good enough job, right, which is the reason I'm voting that.
That's
right?
fine. And the problem is there have been wins, there have been losses. Just talking about just grading Andrew Berry and his GM-ness, I guess, if that's what you want to do. But, like, they got to do something. For me to shift my mindset towards the future and getting out of this hole, you're going to need a big shovel. And I just don't think completely running it back is going to be the right option here. You got to do something. Because you also have to send that message to some of these players who I just got done talking about them losing hope and all that kind of stuff. You got to send a message to this team that it's not going to be the same next year, that it is going to be a lot different. How do you do that? Just running everybody back. That's a hard way to go. And I don't want to I guess it makes it sound like I'm saying make a change for sake, make a change for change sake. But at this point, to put all your eggs back in that basket, of the two, who's done a better job? Kevin Stefanski has.
Oh, undoubtedly. I mean,
and I just don't know how you go through a 3-13 or 3-14 season, which is what we're staring down the barrel of, and not making a massive change. I don't know how you don't do that. So if you have to, it's going to have to be Andrew Berry.
Yeah, I understand that it's tough not having a first-round pick for 3 years. That's a mountain to climb just by itself. But outside of that, his draft picks haven't been great. His free agent signings haven't been great. You pick up Jed Will's fifth-year option. That's another blip. Like, there's plenty of items that Andrew Berry made the wrong decision on. And you could throw away all the Deshaun Watson stuff out the window.
Sure.
And I still think there's a case that he has not done his job.
That's fine. That's fine.
And
that's where I vote.
And that's the most popular. 42%.
Yeah, what do we got so far?
42% Andrew Berry goes, 39% both stay.
Okay.
15% both go, just 2%. And we're almost at 600 votes. Stefanski goes.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, again, I kind of understand that it's sometimes you just got to bite the bullet. Sometimes you got to be the fall guy. And there's going to be a fall guy in this.
What I'm about to ask you is half a joke, half not.
Sure.
And I don't even think that this guy would come back, but would you ever consider bringing John Dorsey back?
Well, would I? Sure. Yeah. No. The answer is no. Do you want to know why? Number one, we know he and the Haslams and Paul DePodesta. Now, here's the only way you do that. You got to get rid of Paul DePodesta. I don't think DePodesta and Dorsey work. Let me rephrase that. I know that Paul DePodesta and John Dorsey don't work. So if you want to tap back into that, sure. But you're talking about a seismic shift there. Then, do you think Stefanski and Dorsey work well together? I don't know the answer to that question. My gut would say probably not. So, would I do it? Yeah, probably. Will they do it? Absolutely not. No way. Go all in. Just make Paul DePodesta the general manager.
Hell no.
They'd freak out. People would lose it if that's what the Browns did. And yeah, they'd have to sit there and try to pull off this tree, or, they could promote Glenn Cook or do all this other stuff. Like, the status quo is not good enough. I'm glad that all these guys are friends with one another and they get along, but it's not good enough. It's just not.
I heard another host here, Big Play, throw out an idea, but I think he's being serious, is if he'd want to, he would legit consider hiring Jason Kelce as the Cleveland Browns general manager.
What accolades does he have? He wants to get in the personnel side for a couple of years and work on the in and out. This isn't Madden, man. That's not a shot at Jason Kelce. And you'd also be asking him to walk away from his podcast. You see his wife's podcast? It was the #1 podcast. Yeah. She took over Rogan for a week.
Don't know how that's possible.
I do, but I don't want to talk crap. Like, in 3 years, are you really going to, is that really, like, they're riding the wave right now, sure. Aren't we all?
I think Talk Tua was top 5 at one point.
They were. She messed up on that NFT. Where's she at now? She made her money. Good for her. That's fine. It is what it is. But sure, if he wants to go do that and put that out there and that be a thing, knock yourself out, man. Go crazy. But you got to get some chops first before we do anything. All right. Not that one, the other one. All right. So we got some other things we got to get to. I want to talk about some of the NFL head coaching openings, and then we'll get to Belichick. So Dan Graziano, Jeremy Fowler, their latest buzz, it's their mailbag. They do it every week. So the first question up, what are you hearing about the coaching jobs that will become available? Specifically the Giants, Raiders, and Jags. Graziano says, the people I'm talking to believe Jacksonville will most likely come open. The question is whether GM Trent Baalke will still be there to make that decision, or they just clean house completely. Fowler says the common thread on all these teams, they're all built in unique, bad ways. The Jags sense he would make the head coaching job attractive by starting a new general manager. So that would be a full turnover there. The Giants, I know ownership, writes Graziano, are sick of changing coaches every couple of years. But Dable does not have the team competitive, and there's been enough negativity around the team. There's a change needed there for sure. Giant stuff. Graziano brings up Miami. And that's one that I've kept an eye on, too.
Dude, I all I'm going to say is I watched a video of inside the locker room with Mike McDaniel after they beat the Jets. I'm not there, so I don't know. This is just me, outside opinion, as a younger guy, and he's a younger guy, too. I couldn't take him seriously.
I don't know how people do.
I couldn't.
He walks to the beat of his own drum. I'll just put it that way. And he says if things could go really bad, then that could happen. They also bring up Todd Bowles down in Tampa as a potential there. The next question was, how legit is the Mike Vrabel buzz? Fowler, Vrabel is considered a prime candidate to get one of the jobs that will inevitably open. How about this that I didn't think about? The Las Vegas Raiders, with old friend Tom Brady, being the minority owner there now. I didn't think about that. I had him pegged to go to New Orleans. I don't know why. I figured New Orleans was a good fit for him. Vegas would be too. What's the knock on Vrabel? He's hard to work with.
I wonder if that would be indicative of who they take at quarterback if Vrabel would want that job. Because
but you got to take the job before you know who you're going to take. What if they just sat down, because you have the draft order, you know that, and they just guaranteed him we're going to take a quarterback. Whether it's Shador or whether it's Cam, depending on where the pick is that enough for him to take his job? Plus, let's not forget, too, of this cycle, and this happens before, when they're waiting on guys to get out of the playoffs. They're going to wait for Ben Johnson. You got to wait for Aaron Glenn. Mike Vrabel's going to be good and ready to go end of January. And does that speed this clock up? Are there teams that say, yep, we'll get him in this building now? Or if he really is going to be the cat's ass in this thing and everybody's throwing money at him and everybody wants him to come, he probably is going to take the job early because he's got all the best offers out on the field.
I'm telling you, man, it's going to happen, and it's not going to be good for us. He's going to go to Cincinnati. Zach Taylor's going to get dumped.
I think Zach Taylor's going to get dumped.
And he's going to go to Cincinnati. It makes all the sense in the
world. It does, but they going to have the money to pay him?
Who knows?
Dude, you know Mark Davis has got the money.
Yeah.
I think more than anything for Vrabel, that's going to have to be, I basically run this team. You're going to put a GM in place that answers to me. You know, what happened in Tennessee? When they fired John Schneider, we had a good working relationship. Everything went to hell. And then it all, of course, inevitably comes out, he's hard to work with, and he's stubborn, and he's hard-headed, and all that kind of stuff. I kind of want that. If you sit there and you say...
That's what they say about Bill Belichick.
I know. If you sat there and said, Vrabel, this is you. We'll hire you, your general manager, whoever you want. This is you. I don't see the Bengals doing that. Oh, let me take that back. I think they would love to do that. I don't think they have the cash to do that.
I mean, how much are you going to have to pay him?
I would say top dollar. $8 million a year. Something like that.
That's nothing.
Well, they got to pay T. Higgins now. Did you see that news? Dropped his agent. He's going back to Cincinnati. You got to pay Jamar Chase. These are all factors in all this. Fowler, Chicago is the most fascinating layer of the Vrabel conversation because he has a mix of what the franchise needs. Leadership and a maximizing of skill set of the players, particularly in the offensive line. Graziano says Cliff Kingsbury's name keeps coming up in Chicago. What a mistake that would be. Go ahead. All right. I know he has that relationship with Caleb Williams, and that's what they keep drawing up there, but it's just a little bit different right there. Other things out of the mailbag. Where do things stand with Kirk Cousins and Penix? Graziano, I don't think anything has changed since the day Penix was drafted. Falcons said their plan was to try to win now with Cousins, and Penix would be there in the future. Sure, that'll play it out, and Cousins will be available, I think, after the season. That's their fantasy football tip of the week.
What is it? Playoff start. I need it.
It starts tonight. It seems like a good time to lean into the running game with Rico Dowdell. So being a holding on to him like I have been in one of my leagues, go ahead and start him now. Graziano says Jaleel McLaughlin against the Colts. Second worst rush defense in the league. That's a sleeper of the week. They had injury problems. He's been getting a lot of carries. Else they're hearing this week. Graziano notes, I believe the situation with the Bengals star wide receivers is one of the most fascinating ones to watch this offseason. Obviously, Burrow coming out with his confidence in T. Higgins.
So would you pay T. Higgins?
I would. Yeah.
I don't know if they can. I don't know if it's best for him.
You can't let Jamar go.
Well, yeah.
There's no world that's happening. You got Chase Brown on a cheap deal, which is a good running back.
You just
your
drafted
offensive
Jermaine
line.
Burton. You got Yoshivas, who I understand isn't a world beater, but you could draft another receiver next year.
The problem is you're going to pay some of those guys on defense. You got to fix that.
You got to start paying on defense.
You got to start fixing that.
That's more important than T. Higgins.
Yeah, yeah. He says Higgins was designated franchise player. The Bengals are prohibited from signing him to an extension before the end of the season. They could still sign him after the season before free agency, presumably less than the $35 million a year that Justin Jefferson got. That likely. Wait a minute. Okay, the Bengals didn't get the deal done with Chase, who's having a potential triple crown season, and he could be expected to be the highest paid receiver, more than $35 a year. There's also a number of teams around the NFL that believe that's too much to pay for a wide receiver, regardless of who it is. If the Bengals turn out to be one of those teams, would you not sign Higgins as their best leverage against Chase and also insurance against losing him and potentially just trade Jamar Chase.
And that sounds crazy, Matt, but at the same time, I mean, yeah, you talk about leverage. I understand Jamar wants to be the highest paid receiver. He obviously wants to be paid more than Justin Jefferson. But when you have a season like this, is it worth I'm sure to him it probably is, but I don't know. He seems like a really competitive guy. Is that money worth going to play with some scrub quarterback? I don't know.
And especially the relationship that he has with Burrow and all that. I mean, yeah, welcome to having really good players on your team. You can't pay everybody.
And Google how many games T. Higgins has missed in his career, Matt.
Assuming it's a lot.
Damn near a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to get the exact number, but you're paying that'd be a lot of money to a guy who's not available
misses time.
All that often.
Yeah, that misses time. I get it. And that's where the other issue in that, you could survive that if the Brown family had a lot of cash on hand to do what the Browns actually would be a perfect place to foster paying Jamar Chase and T. Higgins because they have the cash and they can just keep restructuring everything. Fowler's notes. Saints will be close to naming a starting quarterback soon. Starter needs reps. Derek Carr with multiple ailments. It feels like an uphill battle for him to play anytime soon. Jets have begun their preliminary work on general manager candidates. You know it's not going to be Mike Lombardi. We haven't talked about Belichick yet. That's pretty much it. NFL conducted its labor seminar during the week's ownership meetings in Texas. Team officials would have loved to have walked away from the sessions with a set salary cap, but they didn't get one. Usually that comes closer to free agency. Team officials predict the cap's going to land around $275 million. That's an 8% increase from the $255 it was for this past season. So you're picking up 20 on the cap. Now you know why the Browns do what they do. You got $20 million of space that you can use for Watson that you didn't have to use before. You got the T. Higgins games?
I guess he's not as hurt as I thought, but the last 2 years, 12 games played. This year, 8 games played.
That's if he stays healthy the rest of the way out, too. That is if he stays on the way out here. All right, you want to talk Belichick now? You want to catch a break? We'll do kind of part of the morning update here.
We could do it now. I feel like we could talk about this for a while.
Belichick going to UNC. It's official. It's happening. All the jokes about his girlfriend going back to class and how he's going to be able to relate to these 17-year-olds players, like all that aside. Seth Wickersham put an article out this morning that said a Belichick confidant said this is a big FU to the NFL. And that Bill is sick of the politics of the NFL. Why would you then go to college that has way more NIL transfer? Is he going to be one of those comply with? Oh God, when you're in the NCAA and they pop you for violation, when they go, you didn't harbor a. Oh my God, what is it?
We've had this before.
An environment of compliance or something like that.
Something like that.
I need you for this, Ryan.
But to be a big FU to the NFL, wouldn't that have to mean that the NFL wanted him?
Exactly. He's mad that nobody wants him. Seth starts his article. Bill Belichick, Matt Patricia, Mike Lombardi, and Josh McDaniels met every single week doing what they did in New England, but all with them out having jobs. And they sat there trying to understand where would be the best fit for us. Let's get the band back together. Ken Carman had a perfect tweet. It was Jake and Elwood Blues sitting in there trying to get Mr. Fabulous out of his maitre d' job. I will come back here every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He grabs the rolls and just takes it. He goes, all right, I'm in. That's it. That Blues Brothers. Great movie. Have you seen it?
No.
Please go watch it. They're getting the band back together, and they kept together and seeing what the best job is. According to Seth, they thought that Chicago was going to be the best fit for this group. And apparently they got the news. He ain't going to be there. You know he's not going to the Jets. Bill Belichick got the idea, I can't go to the NFL. Don't nobody want me anymore. Better bet take best job I can. He's going to get $10 million a year?
Yeah, I mean, it's also the perfect, basically free agency. The transfer portal opens up, I believe, right now.
Yeah,
and
it's
he'd
open.
have to wait a few, like 6 more weeks or whatever, to see if he could get an NFL coaching job. So I guess they said it's the safest thing for him is to take this job.
He makes his money. He's back into coaching. He brings Lombardi along. I'm sure Josh McDaniels will be his offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Get everybody paid, and he gets to get back into coaching. You know, the tree of his coach's son eventually gets to take over. Yeah. I understand why UNC did this. Right. I really do.
I do too. I don't know if it's going to work out, but there's really no risk for UNC.
So let's do this. Pretend that you are sitting down and Bill Belichick is going to recruit you to UNC. What is the number one thing that he's going to say to you?
How much money you want?
No, well, you know what? You're not wrong. I know how to get you to the NFL.
Yeah.
I know how to get you to the NFL. If you really have those kind of... Now, that only works for guys that actually have that potential. And let's also...
Does he know how to get him to the NFL? Probably, but I don't think
that's... He knows what NFL standard should look like, right?
Yeah, but he's never in his career gotten somebody to the NFL, I don't think.
No, he's never coached in college. Or at least it's been since he was at William and Mary or whatever.
I get your point, though.
But, like, the other part of that, you are not getting the cream of the... When you sit down with Jeremiah Smith, you can have that conversation because he's that good. He's not going to UNC. These are guys that are better than the MAC and not good enough to go to Clemson or Miami. Just talking about your division. Just talking about your conference that you're in. And people are like, oh, this giant turnaround for UNC. I don't know what their roster looks like. I have no idea. Are they good? Are they bad? I don't know. Like, I get why UNC did this. And all these other guarantees, right? He wants the money from the boosters for multiple years, and they want to build this infrastructure there. I get why UNC did it. I do not understand why Bill did this. I really don't. And I thought he did want to chase down Don Shula. Ben Axelrod had a great mention this morning from Awful Announcing. It's only a matter of time before Andy Reid passes him. He'd have that for 2 years maybe, if that, and Andy Reid's going to pass him. So I guess that doesn't matter anymore. Seth put in this article here. Bill has always cared about football's history and his place in it. And he's always cared about leading a true football program. His ideology is about the people and the circumstance and all that you kind of put together. That kind of fits college. I'm going to build this program the way that I want it to be built. And he did that with the New England Patriots. He had no chance of doing that with any NFL team.
Right, that's exactly
So that's not, even if coaching doesn't scratch him where he itches, this idea of I get to do it all, and it's mine, and I get to bring in Mike Lombardi, and I get to bring in my son, and everybody owes when you think about it, Belichick almost ran the Patriots like a college team. He was there for so long. These guys came in and owed everything to him. It was his culture and his way or the highway. It was a lot like a college program when you think about it. So this makes a lot of sense. I guess just if he really did want to get back into this, and I'm sure $10 million a year doesn't hurt, but he was making millions doing the media stuff.
Yeah.
I'd say this. I'm more shocked he got back into coaching than he went to college. I am 1,000 times more shocked that he actually wanted to sign back up for this than the fact that he went to college.
Well, I also did hear that obviously last year the only head coaching job that he got interviewed for was the Atlanta Falcons.
Correct.
And because of the NFL's equity inclusion program, whatever, with the hiring process, he still had to, even as successful as he was in the legacy he built, he still had to go through the same routines as, these guys looking for their first job. And he was hopping on flight like that.
Yeah.
I mean, for a 6-time Super Bowl winning head coach, I mean, I would look at that as, I understand it's a role, but still disrespectful. It's like, don't you owe me this? Like,
and also,
I shouldn't be treated like a first-year GM or first-year head coach.
Let's say he takes the Atlanta job, and they're in the same spot they are with Raheem Morris. He's going to start to catch some flack, and he's probably going to sit there and go, wait, what? There will not be an ill word spoken to Bill Belichick in Chapel Hill for 5 years. Nobody will say a damn word to him.
Also, do you think...
regardless of the record.
I also think legacy is probably a big thing for Bill. Would you imagine?
Yeah, but it's set.
It is set, but I'm also wondering. I wonder that. Like, obviously, nothing that happens at UNC college is going to be looked upon as his NFL career, but do you think that was maybe
Like,
a factor?
if he
went
to
to
playoffs?
another job in the NFL, then that would take away kind of from his legacy, but nothing can get touched from his legacy as he's in college now.
I get your point, and I think it's a valid one, where if he went to the Falcons and they just sucked,
stunk it up.
it's like Jordan coming back with with the Wizards. Like,
I got to imagine,
There's no point in doing
I
this.
don't know. I'm not Bill Belichick, but I would imagine that I would be a little annoyed of the narrative that it was all Brady. I'm sure that he knows that's not true, and a lot of people,
That
that
has
smart
been
people,
proven.
know it's not true.
Right, and we know that.
But what say he does go to Atlanta and stinks it up? I mean, that's just going to pour gasoline on the fire.
Yeah, but that fire was already lit.
Sure,
You
it
knew
could
that.
get bigger,
Brady
though.
went 2 years later, won a Super Bowl. We
No.
know what it was. I know what it was. It doesn't take anything away from Bill Belichick. And I know he looks up to Paul Brown. Bill Belichick is the greatest NFL coach in history. Now, what he's going to shoot for is if he can get UNC to the playoff. He's not going to go win national championships like Nick Saban. All right, he's not chasing down Joe Paterno's record for wins. That's not going to happen, right? He's just going to say, this is probably what he sat there and said. I'm not done coaching. This is all that I know. I'm going to get paid, and I get to take care of a lot of other people with me. Sure, let's go, right? The NFL is done. That's over. I am really shocked that he wanted to sign back up for that, because you hear so much from these other coaches that, they work 18-hour days in the NFL. It's a different grind in college. Could you imagine Bill Belichick sitting down to acquiesce to a 17-year-old kid?
That's what he's got his goons for, like Lombardi.
You're not going to get those guys unless Belichick is sitting in your living room. And nothing will change at UNC until he does that, right? The whole point that they hired him so he could flip some 5-star recruits.
I would have loved to sit in the conversation
Ain't gonna do
because
that.
this definitely, this happened. I would have loved to hear the conversation he had with Nick Saban before doing this. A guy who
Sure, and that got brought up a
specifically
lot,
has
yeah.
cited stepping away from the game because of how much it's changing.
Right. And then again, if an NFL job came up for Nick Saban, you think he's going to go take that?
In similar age.
No. And obviously Saban had done it before and been there.
It's just interesting, though, and that's got to be the first time, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you went from like a 75-year-old to a 74-year-old?
Yeah, it was 73 to 72. Mac Brown was 73 years old. Bill Belichick, 72. 72. All that they're hoping, and I think there is a fallout here from Dion. This is we need to make a splash because you are that program. Ohio State doesn't need to make a splash. Oregon doesn't need to make a splash.
No, good move by UNC.
They're right. What's UNC got going for them? You got 3 years of Bill Belichick really doing this? Really? And the only hope that you have is that you build it up and you can flip some people and you're going for a short run here. Colorado will fall back into the abyss probably when Dion leaves after this season. What would keep him in Colorado with Travis Hunter and Shedeur leaving? Not much. Not much. And I guess if he didn't get a coaching job in the NFL, and obviously they're much different on player, he's former players, Hall of Famer, age, and all that other kind of stuff. UNC says, we'll do this. We'll do this for right now. And maybe you can try to turn the tide for a little bit, but that money's going to dry up quick too. I'm not saying that UNC doesn't have a lot of booster money, but that's going to his basketball program, right? You got to sit down. That's part of the whole negotiations. Where's my money coming from to be able to compete here in the NIL? They brought Bill Belichick in to sit down with some of these kids and literally get them to not go to Alabama, to not go to Ohio State, to come to UNC. Somebody's going to fall for that. Somebody's going to. And you hope that you can build that program up. And then what? Turn it over to his son? I don't know why his son annoys me. It's the mullet, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the mullet. It's definitely the mullet.
So weird.
Where's he at? Washington?
Yeah, he's D-coordinator in Washington. Obviously got a decent job. It's working out for him. I don't know how good he is or isn't. Here's Seth. A source of the knowledge of Bill Belichick's thinking. I'll go be the highest draw in college football and have the greatest coach in the ACC instead of you guys who don't want me anymore because there are people who don't deserve to be empowered Everybody's running away from college football. I think Bill admits this landscape is better for him. It's more transactional and less relational in his mind. So what he's saying is, again, according to the source here, his relationships burned up. You know, you go asking people for jobs or, you know, the people in the NFL are like, dude, we're good. Because all his buddies are gone. You know, all the people of all the trees that he had, they're done. And all the relationships that he has with owners, they're done. So now he gets to go somewhere. It is all about the transactions. It's all about the players. And he can focus in on that. Sure. How many years? How many years he got doing this? Over under 3.5.
I don't see this going past. I don't see him getting a second contract. So
he's got it. What, in a 10-year deal? Or what is it?
I think it's a 3-year deal.
It was a 3-year deal?
Yeah, I'm almost positive it was a 3-year deal.
Okay. All right.
Now, I wanted to ask you this. Will it happen or won't it happen? You ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a scenario, and obviously you tell me what will happen.
Sure.
One student will maybe get comfortable enough with Bill, or just won't, and will still do it. He'll make a joke about his girlfriend, and he'll wring his neck.
Go Woody Hayes on him?
Mm-hmm. Will it or won't it happen, in your opinion, do you think? I think it might.
I don't know. He's got
College kids are stupid.
I know they are, and
I don't think Bill would like. Bill would not appreciate that joke.
I don't frankly want to know Bill Belichick's love life. That's his business. And I just think of the Big Daddy scene, and you know the scene I'm talking about. That all aside, is he marrying this chick? Is she going to be around this whole time? Is this a fling? I don't know.
Will it or won't it happen?
That's his business. I guess, like, if those jokes haven't been made already, and I know he's not on social media, but he better get on social media. Or no, I think he is. Didn't he do that when he did all the media stuff? I don't know. Those jokes are flying off the shelves.
Yes, but
it's
if a player
joke.
he coaches makes that joke.
Would any player be that stupid?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying so at one student. Will it or won't happen?
I don't think. I think he's got a lock on that.
All right.
He's got everybody makes fun of him for it. But again, he's probably laughing the whole way. He's like, oh, look what whatever. I'm telling you, man, he's cut from a different cloth. That's why he's so successful. It doesn't mean that he won't have success in college. I'm shocked he wanted to get back into it. But for $10 million a year, for guaranteed on that deal, and he gets back to going to coach and doing what he wants to do, if that's really what gets him going in the morning, then so be it.
Chapel Bill.
That's it. There it is. So, and they'll sell a bunch of merch, and it's good for UNC in a lot of different ways. I get it. Just maybe not the move that I would have made. But I'm also not the chancellor nor the whatchamacallit, board of directors there at UNC. So they can do whatever they want. All right, coming on back, we got to get to our morning update. Plenty of other stories as well. Fresh day for the grid as well. We got time up. A few other things I want to sprinkle in on the NFL side of things. Got it. Stay with us. Fontana Show, right here in Big Play.
The Big Play Sports Network. Download the free app today to watch all of your favorite hosts on demand.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like... I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages, because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer.
Kentucky Derby. As Authentic takes them around the far turn, 'tis the laws making us move now, and they're into the stretch. These two stride for stride. Authentic, 'tis the law. Here's the wire. Authentic has won the Kentucky
What an embarrassment. A catastrophic embarrassment for Buckeye Nation. Ohio State was a 21-point favorite And I heard that the line went up as much as 23.5 points in Vegas at kickoff. Can you imagine if you took Michigan with all those points? You're probably drunk after the first quarter. Get this. That is the biggest point spread in the rivalry between Michigan and Ohio State since 1978.
All right, welcome back. Morning update. YouTube TV's going up $10 a month? The hell is that?
You're going to have to cut some costs.
I already did. That's why I cut the freaking cable. I thought it was going to be cheaper. I saw it on Awful Announcing, and I was like, they said they sent an email. 9:39 this morning. Hi, Matt. YouTube TV has always worked hard to offer you the content you love, delivered the way you want, with features that make it the easiest way to enjoy the best of live TV. To keep up with the rising cost of content and investments, we're making the quality of our service. We're updating our monthly price from $72.99 to $82.99 starting January 13th. I hate you!
So what's the price now?
$82.
So that's just cable you get, or what?
$83 plus tax. That's just cable. It's just YouTube TV. Honestly, is this sports venture getting off the ground or not? Because that's all I... Oh, no.
What?
My son is obsessed with the Spider-Man show.
Nope.
And that's on YouTube. God bless it.
Sorry, Matt Jr. No Spider-Man for you.
Wait, is it not on Disney Plus?
No idea.
I gotta redo it. I gotta recalibrate it. We cut the cable, we are saving money every month. Honestly, dude, I want to say, do you watch TV every day?
As background noise.
Yeah.
You just might have to start breaking Amish.
$10 a month. And now I'm also paying for FanDuel now. I need this sports venture thing to get off the ground. This is terrible. Terrible. All right. Continue on. Sorry to not start with a negative one there, but YouTube TV is going up $10 a month. It's bullcrap.
All right, well, Matt, you are not happy, and we don't give away a Happiest Guy of the Day award, but if we were, I think it'd be to Garrett Crochet. Finally getting out of that cesspool that is the Chicago White Sox organization. He gets dealt to the Red Sox in a deal that Chicago gets... never heard of any of these players.
No, but apparently they did really well for themselves.
Really?
And I'll lean to Jensen. I'll lean to some of the other people. Apparently the haul that the White Sox got back from the Red Sox had one of the best farm systems in baseball.
Well, they gave both teams the same grade of a B+.
I guess they did pretty well for themselves. So
I don't know if you heard of any of these people, but Chicago in that deal is getting catcher Kyle Teal, outfielder Brandon Montgomery, infielder Chase Meadroff, and right-handed pitcher Wilkelman Gonzalez.
All right, good for them. The Wilkman.
The
Wilkman. I guess, again, that's interest for us if the White Sox actually ever get it turned around. Again, I just go off what other people said. Sounds like they did all right for themselves. So, got to worry about that for the Guardians. Obviously, more trades are going to keep picking up steam here. Winter meetings are going on. Other deals getting done. They had the Rule 5 draft for AAA yesterday. It's going to be interesting to see just the money that's getting thrown around. And then apparently, how could you not trade for Garrett Crochet and then get him some sort of deal coming up? What's he got, 2 years left of arbitration? Garrett Crochet contract. Dude, he made $733,000 last year. He's up for 2.9 this year. He's got 1 year left of arbitration, and then he's an unrestricted free agent at 28. So I don't know how the Red Sox don't sit there and say we might as well get you a deal now while we can. Gave up a lot to get him. They're going to go all in. Rich teams just get richer, man.
Alrighty, well, we're getting closer, not too close, but closer to the NBA trade deadline and this year's hottest, not free agent, but trade. What would you call it? A trade rumor, but what would you call a person that's rumored to be traded? A trade not a prospect,
Potential?
a trade target?
Target? Yeah, sure.
Well, that
Trade
one
target.
in this year is Jimmy Butler for the Miami Heat. According to his agent, Bernie Lee, he's expressed in league circles that he's open to the following: the Dallas Mavericks, Houston Rockets, Golden State Warriors, and the Phoenix Suns.
Of those teams, why would you not want to go to Dallas? Phoenix is intriguing.
Would him and Luka work?
I do think so a lot. I do. Then you're
Jimmy
talking
likes to have the ball a lot.
Durant and Booker. I mean, any of those teams you go to, outside of maybe the Rockets, he's going to be getting the ball. The Warriors are the one that you would actually literally become the number 2 to Steph. Like, they need that desperately right now. The Rockets are the one I don't know if I get. And maybe I'm just like star driven, and I know the Rockets are having a really good season and they got some young players and this and that. Like, if I was Jimmy Butler, I'd go to Dallas. That's me. That'd be my pick. I think you play with Kyrie, play with Luka. But then it's also now down to Miami on what deal they want to take back. I don't know all the trade assets from all those other teams. It's rare in the NBA that players actually are able to call their shot. And I'm not trying to take a jab here at Jimmy Butler. It ain't LeBron, okay? You don't get to sit there and say, this is what's going to happen. Everybody else facilitated. Jimmy Butler's a fine player, and I like Jimmy Butler. But he ain't the same guy anymore. He's north of 30. Pick the best where you go. And I think he's open, like saying, hey, these are the best ones here. I don't think he's got much sway in this thing. Miami's going to take the best deal possible, so we'll see how it goes.
All right.
Cavs?
Yeah. NBA Cup update. Yay.
Would you trade Jared Allen for Jimmy Butler?
Everybody loves the NBA Cup.
I also gave out a phone number that we don't have. Would you trade Jimmy Butler for Jared Allen?
Alrighty, well, the quarterfinals continued last night. The NBA Cup. Hawks and Trae Young, they beat the Knicks in the Garden 108-100. On the West, the Rockets edge out the Warriors 91-90. That sets up our semifinals on Saturday, Matt. Bucks will take on the Hawks in the Eastern Conference, and the West will be between the Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
So this is how you get sucked into the betting. I was just sitting there, and I'm not going to say who, but somebody that I follow on Twitter that I respect very much on the betting side of things goes, ooh, the over-under for the Knicks game dropped. Grab the over. It's what I get. It's really what I get. Didn't really watch much. Good for them. Why are the Cavs off for a complete week? I'm waiting for some Cavs basketball. We'll get it tomorrow night. But I've been jonesing for some Cavs.
Gosh, how many days has it been?
They played on Sunday, and they play on tomorrow. That's it.
No, I'm saying how many days has it been since the Cavs played?
That's what I mean. They played Sunday, and they don't play till tomorrow. So they're off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
That's crazy, man.
That's crazy. But was it not a scheduling change due to the NBA Cup?
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Yeah, because they have to move these games around and all that kind of stuff. So a little break for them. Probably not a bad thing. We'll get updates on Evan Mobley. Sounds like he might actually play tomorrow. Max Strus back.
Yes.
Exciting for tomorrow.
That will be exciting.
Exciting for that, so we'll see.
All right, well, Matt, honestly, if you don't have anything else, I mean, slow day in the news for us.
Yeah. No, that was pretty much it. Other than YouTube TV going on.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest story.
Rats.
I wish we had more on the line for the grid this week, I'll be honest.
We screwed it up yesterday. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we still got to do it for practice.
I do it for practice.
All right.
Better get a couple of these in while we can. Go.
All right, 10 sacks, 49ers. Nick Bosa, not his brother, the MAGA one. I'm sure they're both MAGA, but Nick exposed.
Gotta be.
We could go Ray Lewis. We could go
Terrell Suggs.
Cowboys, Michael.
Marcus Lawrence.
All
right. Rams 49ers. I want to say Jimmy Garoppolo, but has he actually played in a game yet for the Rams?
I don't believe he has.
Even like mop-up duty?
I don't.
Okay, if you got something, move on.
Well, I was just thinking New
Matt
York, San
Breida.
Francisco. Is that Jawan Jennings? Or am I just totally making that up?
I think it's Matt Breida.
Yes.
I know for a fact it's Matt Breida.
Yeah, that would work. That would work as well. And I continue not being
That's
able to
a tough
spell.
one.
Mr.
Odell.
Beckham Jr. Well, he could also be Ravens Rams. Can we think of one for that?
Oh, yeah. Oh. Oh, no, I was going to say Kevin Zeitler, but that doesn't work for Baltimore, the Giants, because he wasn't in that trade.
It's got to be an obvious one.
Nothing's speaking to me. Quarterbacks, RG3, Bowler, Trent Dilfer.
I feel like there should be an obvious one for this.
For the Rams and the Ravens.
Yeah.
I think because it's Odell. I think that's what you're thinking.
Yeah, so maybe
You know,
think of
so
another
that's
one
like
for-
the thing, too. It's like,
Well, New York. Did Tyrod Taylor play for the Ravens? Did we ever figure that out? I can't remember.
yeah, he did.
So didn't he play for New York Giants?
Oh, yeah, I guess Tyrod works there, too. Okay, then we can go Odell. Okay. All right, Cowboys.
Giants, Cowboys. I always love ripping this one because the only reason I know it is because he's a host on Unsportsmanlike, and that's Chris Canty.
Chris Canty.
Shout out him.
There you go. Cowboys, Rams.
Does Stephon Gilmore ever play in LA?
I don't think so.
Still got to be an obvious one.
And I want to, like, yeah, there's got to be, like, of all those 90s Cowboys teams, I feel like there needs to be one there. I want to say Herschel Walker, but that's not right. Jerome Bettis started with the Rams, then went to Pittsburgh, and I think I'm getting those two confused. That's not it. You know, Michael Gallup, Miles Austin.
Brandon Cooks. No, he didn't play in LA, did he? Yeah. Did he?
I think he did.
Or am I totally making that up?
No, I think you're right.
I don't know. Actually, I don't think he did.
Okay.
What about quarterbacks? I mean, Nick Foles, I don't think. Andy Dalton, no.
No. It's not like, yeah, like. I don't know why I keep thinking of Mark Bolger.
Zeke was never there. Sony
No.
Michel's never in Dallas. Todd Gurley, no.
It's an older player. I know there's got to be an older player. It's not Terrell Owens.
Des Bryant, no.
No.
DeMarco Murray, no.
Ah. All right, you want to come back to that one?
Rams,
All
there's
right.
got to be something obvious.
Okay, it's not Ted Ginn.
Bobby Wagner?
No. He's never played in San Francisco.
Who am I thinking from the Legion of Boom was on San Francisco?
Richard
Sherman.
Richard Sherman.
I thought there was someone else.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I just know Richard Sherman. Okay, obviously not Patrick Willis. God, there was a D lineman that was so good for San Francisco for a long time. He was on the intro of Madden. Oh, God. I'm not going to be able to get it. I don't even think that helps us or serves a purpose here. I don't think Colt McCoy ever played for the Rams. And we don't think Jimmy Garoppolo's played in a game yet, right? Not even like a kneel down? Like Stafford's been hurt.
I mean, I know he's suspended for a little bit.
He was start the season. I think we ripped Jimmy G. I mean,
All right. I guess it doesn't matter anyway.
yeah. Yeah, see, he hasn't played in a game yet. Damn it. Damn it.
Oh, well, man.
Yeah.
We're not in it anyway.
Give it up. See what we got.
No point in wasting time on it. Brandon Cooks did play
Yeah,
for the Rams.
yeah, that's okay.
Whatever.
Isaac Bruce
Bruce.
played in San Francisco?
Before my time.
Way before your time. I just didn't know he played in San Francisco. But all right, that's where we go. All right, over to SI we go. NFL quarterback ranking. So I want to start at number 1 and see if we agree about the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. This is from Matt Verdame. of SI.
Do I get a guess again?
You get to guess. You get to go through the whole thing here.
Wow.
Number 1 quarterback in the NFL this week, by the way. So just talking about this week, so focused, best quarterback in the NFL. Go.
Not like a matchup, right? Just
No,
who's been
just
the best
this guy
year?
is the best quarterback right now in the NFL.
Oh, 100% Joshua Allen.
No.
What? Stop. That's stupid then.
No. It's actually not when I tell you who it is.
Are they
or
going
when
to
you
say
get
it's
it.
Joe Burrow?
It's Joe Burrow.
Whatever. I'm giving that a
Last week he was 3, goes up to 1. His season is going to be
Whatever.
largely forgotten
It's still Josh Allen.
outside of Cincinnati. He would be the MVP if his team was a little bit better. 3,700 yards and a whopping 33 touchdown. He's done everything he can to put Cincinnati in the playoffs, but he can't. Number 2,
Okay, then that has to be Josh Allen.
it is Josh Allen. Having an MVP season, there we are. Number 3,
Number 3. Ooh, okay. Here's where it gets a little spicy. This guy's taking a little bit of a fall. I don't know if they'll still put him here at number 3, Lamar Jackson.
that is correct. He goes from 1 to 3. Number 4.
Number 4.
So again, Burrow 1, Josh Allen 2, Lamar 3, number 4.
Are they still doing tricks on it for Mahomes?
Mahomes. All 4 AFC quarterbacks there. Number 5, your first NFC quarterback.
Ooh, first NFC quarterback.
And a big jump from 11 to 5.
Okay. I don't think they're going to give the love to Jared Goff.
It is not Jared Goff.
Okay, I didn't think so. I'm thinking of division leaders and whatnot. It's definitely not Jalen Hurts.
Correct.
NFC, let's go to the West. I don't think they'd give to Stafford. Did they?
Oh, but they did. Matt Stafford comes in at 5.
I can't give myself a ding for that.
Number 6 is Goff.
Okay.
Number 7, back to the AFC. Top 10 quarterbacks from Matt.
Back to the AFC.
Back to the AFC, number 7.
Justin Herbert.
That is correct. Number 8, also an AFC quarterback.
Also an AFC quarterback. Okay.
Kind of forgotten season for this guy, too.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, last year was everything about him, and he started with an MVP. It's just kind of been a, they're good. They're going to make it, but just kind of,
They're good. Well, are they really going to put CJ Stroud?
CJ Stroud at 8.
All right.
CJ Stroud at 8.
I'm not giving that a ding.
Again, kind of like a forgotten season for him a little bit.
No ding for Stroud.
All right, number 9,
AFC or NFC? That's
NFC.
NFC. Okay, then there's no way it's
Not somebody you have not mentioned this person yet.
Is their team right now in the playoff picture?
Yes.
In, not the picture. Are they in right now?
Yes.
Because I was gonna say Kyler Murray, but he's not in it. NFC. Oh, Sam Darnold. Jordan Love. And last year he was the guy. You're saying?
What do you mean?
Like you said, he had a lot of hype last year.
No, that was CJ Stroud. I was talking about CJ Stroud.
Oh.
Year. This guy at 9 is right now in the playoff picture. His team is in right now.
As a wild card?
No.
As a division leader. Geno?
No. There's only one left.
So it's not the East, it's not the West. NFC South would be. Can't be Kirk.
It's not. He's
Baker?
not the Baker.
Oh,
Baker Mayfield is 9.
All right.
Jordan Love 10. So there you go. Purdy 11, Jaden Daniels 2, Jalen Hurts, Sam Darnold, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, Geno Smith, Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, Bo Nix.
Kirk
Drake
Cousins is above Bo Nix.
by 1 spot, 20 and 21.
That's a
Then
ridiculous.
Drake May, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, Jameis Winston, 26. Matt's right up. Winston is a unicorn in today's NFL. While most quarterbacks are trying to minimize errors at all costs, Winston, every possible outcome on every play is on the table. In 6 starts since Watson tore his Achilles, Winston has endured 3 games of multiple interceptions, including the game against Denver with 2 pick sixes. He's the ultimate gunslinger in the wrong era, destined to have played 50 years ago in an age of checkdowns and turnover ratio. I'm sorry, no, he's trapped in an age of checkdowns and turnover ratios. He's able to throw his team into a game, but also obviously has no business winning and throwing them out of the game in the same blink of the eye. He's far from the best quarterback in football. He's far from the best quarterback in Ohio, but he's incredibly entertaining. 26 for Jameis, 2 higher, 2. Here's who's behind him. Will Levis, Aiden O'Connell, Cooper Rush, Mac Jones, Spencer Rattler, and Drew Schlock, who will soon be Tommy DeVito. Would you take... All right, these are the guys above Jameis. You have a problem with Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Bo Nix, Kirk Cousins. Those are guys straight ahead of him. Aaron Rodgers, 19, by the way.
Kirk Cousins probably too high.
I think Rodgers at 19 is too high for me, too. That's stupid.
Yeah. I mean, Caleb Williams.
I mean, the hype factor, I think, is what's changing a lot of that with Caleb Williams. Because, again, I'm with you. I'm not really buying into that either at all. All right, final thing. Wanted to go over to NFL or ESPN.com. 32 teams, 32 early draft needs. So right now for the Browns, projected pick is number 7, Daniel Ofusi. The Browns will have a first pick for the first time since 2021 and likely in the first round. Cleveland's, okay.
Remind me, who did Andrew Berry take? Oh, that's right.
Jed Wills. That was Greg Newsome. He went Wills Newsome in his 2 picks in the first round.
Oh, okay. That was 21 was Newsome.
21 was Newsome. Jed was a rookie in 20.
Oh, God, it gets even worse.
What do you mean?
Greg Newsome's not even be on the team next year, I don't think.
He's under contract. I think he'll be back. I think this hamstring injury's got concern. It's on the same one they had surgery on. So I don't know what's going on there. Daniels just says in the trenches. He doesn't say offensive line or defensive line.
I'd agree.
He just says in the trenches.
I would agree.
And yeah, I mean, again, I'm all for Mason Graham. I don't know about the offensive line guys. For where you're going to be picking, I just have a lot of questions about those guys. But like these guys project as guards. Like I get, again, in the trenches, you want to go D-line, that's fine. Offensive line, you got to see how that kind of plays out. But I don't know. You know, where we pick doesn't matter to me. We talked about it this week. Get the best pick, and I really think they're going to trade back. What would you rather have, 7th overall pick or 15 and 28? I'm just throwing a number out there. I'm just throwing 2 numbers out
If I could get Mason Graham at 7, I want 7.
Okay.
Would you agree with that?
I'm more Michael Williams or Mason Graham. If either one of those guys are there, I'm in. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that. Because there is a world that you take 7 or 8 and then you try to move back up in the late first round. You can make some other, I don't know. You know, is this a draft you also really want to be in the first round twice? You're going to go all the way in to do it? I'm suckered in on the hype. Like, I'm just so sucked in right now on needing hope and hype, and all I have is draft and drafting a quarterback or getting more picks the best that we can. So that's the best that I got. All right, catch our break. Final one in the morning. We'll come on back. We'll get into time up. We got to get to our Thursday night football. This could be a sneaky good game tonight. Sneaky good game tonight. Garendo's going to play for all you fantasy people out there.
Yeah, it makes me mad.
Why? Do you facing him this week?
Well, because I lost CMC and Jordan Mason, and I didn't have enough fab to get him on the waiver wire, so I picked up Patrick Taylor, hoping that Garendo wouldn't play.
Got it. Yeah, it gets dicey this week. So we'll see how it goes. All right, catch our break. Come on back. You're ready for Thursday night. Time up. Stay with us.
The Big Play Sports Network. Download the free app today to watch all of your favorite hosts on demand.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like. I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby as Authentic takes them around the far turn. Tis the Laws making his move now, and they're into the
What an embarrassment. A catastrophic embarrassment for Buckeye Nation. Ohio State was a 21-point favorite. And I heard that the line went up as much as 23.5 points in Vegas at kickoff. Can you imagine if you took Michigan with all those points? You were probably drunk after the first quarter. Get this. That is the biggest point spread in the rivalry between Michigan and Ohio State since 1978.
All right, Shabbat. So we missed yesterday. Yesterday actually had a lot of movies. Today, not so much. But I don't know. Do you want to go back to yesterday?
Yeah, give me yesterday.
All right, we'll give you yesterday. Welcome back. Fontana Show right here on Big Play. Be following on Twitter X at Matt Fontana Show. We're up on Twitter, YouTube, Big Play, Instagram, Big Play, the Big Play app, where you can check out our interview with Justin Lada yesterday, talking everything about the Andres Gimenez trade. Download it and get it there. All right, we go back 1 year ago today. Jed Wills had arthroscopic knee surgery and would miss the rest of the season.
I thought we were done talking about him on this show.
I shouldn't have brought it up, but it was in there. I put it in there. Done and done. We'll move forward. We do need a left tackle. Going to get that in draft. We'll see. This day, 2021, Browns beat the Ravens 24-22. Myles Garrett with the scoop and score. And was that not the game that Lamar had to leave the game in the second quarter?
No, I think...
Wasn't that it?
No, I think the poop game was Monday night when the Ravens won that game.
Oh, that's right, because this was the game that I remember Snoop Huntley came in. That's right. Yeah. That's right. It was a day. It was a cold day. Yeah. It was at the stadium. That's right. I remember that game now. 2021. Browns beat Baltimore 24-22. This day, 2020, the Columbus Crew won the MLS Cup.
Nice.
I hope not the only championship the Haslams Sports Group sees in their lives, but here we are. Also, this day, 2020,
no, the Crew will get another one.
They'll get another one.
Not us. The Crew will.
Oh, the Crew. Yeah. Ohio State, Michigan was canceled this day, 2020, due to COVID. What a wild time that was, man. But it was so, I don't want to say weird.
Before Michigan owned you guys?
Yeah, but also the fact of...
you admit it. Wow.
Yeah, anything owned this fat stretch, that's fine. That it was 8 months into it. You know what I mean? We were into December of that. The summertime I get. The fact that... and all these people project it's going to happen again, and there's another one coming, and
another virus?
Yeah. They recall milk for bird flu or something like that. It's all just crazy. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of people who are like, nope, another pandemic's coming. We're primed for another one here. We need to release it out of this conversation, not to get all political or anything like that, but do you really think people are going to...
No.
Nope.
No. I already know what you're going to ask me.
They're not going to conform as they did last time. And I'm not saying that people didn't get sick from COVID, and I know that people passed away from COVID, but they passed away from the flu. Whatever. I'm not getting into it. Live your life the way you see fit. I wore the mask. We all wore a mask. Fine. Wear the mask. Who cares? But I just don't think people are going to conform quite as much as they did last time. This day, 2010, the Browns fall to the Bills 13-6.
Wow.
This day, 2010. Would you like the box score?
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to ask me something.
Okay.
Kind of been on a heater lately. What did I pull? You pulled Tim Boyle and
Brett
Hundley. Yeah.
Brett Hundley. We fall 13-6. We fall at a 5-8 on the year. We would actually lose our final 4 games. Is that Mangini? It was. Starting quarterbacks in that game.
Okay, for the Browns, 2010, was that after Derek Anderson?
Yes, he was gone.
Not Seneca Wallace.
No, but you're in the right generation for sure. He was 12 out of 20 for 86 yards and an
Delhomme?
interception. Jake Delhomme is correct.
Let's go.
All right. Starting quarterback for the Buffalo Bills that day.
In 2010, wasn't Fitzpatrick, was it?
Ryan Fitzpatrick is
Okay, wow,
correct.
Let's go.
Leading rusher for the Cleveland Browns with 108 on the ground.
Oh.
Well, you
What? Should it be obvious or something?
2010?
Peyton Hillis.
Peyton Hillis is correct.
Forgot about that guy.
Leading receiver for the Cleveland Browns. 3 grabs for 43 yards.
Braylon Edwards.
No, he was gone.
He was gone.
Gone. Trade in 09.
Before Josh Gordon, leading receiver, Kellen Winslow.
No, good pull. He was also gone. This guy was a draft pick, second rounder.
Not Brian Hartline.
No, Brian Robisky was second on this team in receiving that day. Mohamed Massaquoi.
Wow.
Mohamed Massaquoi.
Wow.
TJ Ward was your leading tackler that day. This day, 2010, Browns fall. This day, 1985, the Indians signed Tom Candiotti, the Candyman, to a minor league deal. He would actually then make the roster and lead the American League in complete games in 1986. They signed him this day, 1985. This day, 1965, rookie Gale Sayers ties an NFL record with 6 rushing touchdowns in one game. Excuse me.
I believe Kamara did that too.
I wanted to pull it up, but I got another one for you. This day, 1964, Frank Ryan set the Browns franchise record at the time by throwing 5 touchdowns in one game. They beat the Giants 52-20. It has happened 5 times since.
That the Browns quarterback has thrown 5
Thrown
touchdowns in a game?
5 touchdowns in a game.
Wow. And the
I'm
first,
sorry. Wait. It has happened 6 times. Because Jameis just did it, did he not?
Did he have 5?
Was it 5 or did he have 4?
Let me look real quick.
I got it.
I think it was 4.
It was 4, so take that back. Okay. So I've got 5 quarterbacks since 1964 that have thrown 5 touchdowns in a game for the Browns.
Okay. Did Sipe do it?
He did. 1979, Brian Sipe.
Did Otto Graham do it?
No, since 64.
Okay.
Since 64, so he's out.
Did Bernie ever do it?
No.
Well, I know Baker
so,
did it.
Baker in 2020.
Yes.
So you're missing 2 post-99, 1 pre-99. You want the pre-99 one because you ain't going to get it.
You don't think I'll get it?
No.
All right.
Bill Nelson in 1969. So you're missing 2 post-1999.
Okay.
Holcomb.
Was it Kelly Holcomb? I would not have pulled that.
Baker did it. You're missing 1.
Derek
Anderson in 2007, that shootout with the Bengals. Frank Ryan in 64, Bill Nelson in 69, Sipe in 70, Holcomb in 04, Anderson 07, Baker in 2020. That's your list right there. This day, 1950, the pride of Elyria, Vic Janowitz wins the Heisman for Ohio State. This day, 1937, NFL draft. The Browns had the number 1 pick. They take Corbett Davis, a running back out of Illinois. This day, 1901, the first transatlantic radio transmission happened. I think about that of getting obviously it was 120 years ago. You had to wait for the newspaper.
Yeah.
You had to wait for a telegram from people to get information on that. This day, 1899, George F. Bryant patented what golf apparatus? Or what part of playing golf?
What year?
1901. He got the patent for something that you use when you go golfing.
A golf cart?
No.
The tee?
Wooden golf tee.
Wow.
Before that, they would just take a little mound of dirt and put it down there. Now you have the wooden golf tee. Very happy birthday goes out to Mike Golick Sr., John Randall, Andrew Whitworth, former Brown, TJ Ward, Von Bell, Bob Barker, Frank Sinatra, and Jennifer Connelly all celebrating birthdays today. All right, before we get to yesterday's movies and TV, I do have one for today. Television show that debuted this day, 2009. It features extremely athletic people doing a very particular skill set on television.
The Amazing Race?
No, there's a race component to this.
Race component to this. Athletic people doing a particular skill set. Is it like a cooking thing?
No. NBC. It's on NBC. I think it's still around. I see it running in syndication.
I think I'm getting thrown off by a specific skill set. Like, is it dancing?
No. Yeah, its 16th season premiered this past June of this, so it's been on TV.
Very athletic people.
Yes.
Like famous athletic people?
No, I mean they have famous people that will do it, but then they have other people that specifically train for this.
American Ninja Warrior?
That is correct.
Okay.
American Ninja Warrior. Like it launched this people that are really into like being an American Ninja. I see little kids do it, stuff like that.
I wish I could do that stuff.
I think it'd be cool to do.
Yeah.
The one that would get me is the rings. I'm like a bigger guy, so like the upper, like to move, like you gotta have that finger, like when they go on just a little, like the one rail is like this wide, and your finger, it's like ow. Then getting up that wall at the end,
wall,
like after that. I'd rather do American Gladiators. That would be probably more my speed because their obstacle course is really cool. Like, yeah, American Ninja Warrior, they always start with you got to run up and then bounce off. And then there's some things I would do. It'd just only be a matter of time before I break my neck falling off that thing. But here we are. All right, you want to go to yesterday's ones because we were packed?
Yes.
All right, we start with a film. This day, 1998. I'm going to give you a premise here that's not going to help you in any way. But this film was in Blockbuster at the same exact time of another film with the same name. One was a family wholesome movie. The other was a horror movie.
Wow.
So you had to make sure you picked the right one. This one was the wholesome family one. And it's the story, unfortunately, of a traveling musician who doesn't make it home to his son, but he comes back as something.
A traveling musician who doesn't make it back to his son
But he comes back as something. Think of the season.
Christmas.
Correct. Not even necessarily Christmas, but it is. But like, it's cold and snow.
I'm drawing a blank.
A holiday special that we all watch from way back in the day is an animated one. It's not Rudolph.
Frosty?
Correct.
The Abominable Snowman?
He's a snowman.
The Yeti?
And actually, particularly, this starred Michael Keaton, who played the father and then eventually the snowman.
Oh, it's called The Snowman?
No. It's, I don't know if you're going to get it because we haven't got it by now.
Jack Frost?
Jack Frost, correct.
Oh, okay.
So there was a horror movie, Jack Frost, where the snowman is a killer.
Okay.
And I swear to God, they were out the same time.
I've heard of it.
So yeah, Michael Keaton is like traveling and he's always like, he's sad because he's not around to see his son anymore. And then he dies in a car accident. And then he comes back as Jack Frost.
Interesting.
It's okay. It's a tearjerker because eventually he's got to go away and then he comes back. But there was a horror one that Jack Frost was a killer snowman. You're like, how do you get the two of these mixed up? Whatever. Jack Frost is correct. All right, we go to a military-styled film, this day 1992, that had to do with the justice system within the military.
92?
Yeah. An American legal drama with an ensemble cast. I would give you the line, but you'd get it right away. I guess we're almost out of time. The plot follows court-martial of 2 U.S. Marines charged with a murder of a fellow Marine.
Yeah. Few Good Men.
You can't handle the truth. Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, Demi Moore, Kevin Bacon, Kiefer Sutherland, Cuba Gooding Jr. Never actually seen it.
Neither have I.
Neither have I.
Yeah.
There it is. All right, next up, another film. This day, 1991. This was a live-action take on a Disney animated film.
Okay.
That's been redone several times over.
Beauty and the Beast?
No.
Cinderella?
No.
Snow White?
No.
The Lion King?
No. Again, 91. So you're right. All those have been live action recently. This was a live action in 1991 of a very famous Disney animated film. And frankly, this one stands above this rest. This movie is awesome. Yeah, it's not Cinderella. It's not Snow White.
Is it another princess?
No. It's actually a male character.
Aladdin?
No. Good pull, but no. He wears green.
Peter Pan.
Correct. The movie is?
Neverland?
No. Wow.
Oh, Captain Hook.
Hook. Yeah,
Hook.
yeah.
Is
Robin
it with
Williams,
Robin Williams?
Dustin Hoffman. Yeah, well, that's a good movie. Hook is correct. One of my good friends has tattoos of that movie because he loves it that much. He loves Hook. Good flick. I know they've remade it with, freaking Garrett Hedlund and all that. Didn't Hugh Jackman play one of the pirates in that when they remade over and over again? It is what it is. All right, final one, a television show and a staple of the 1980s. And in fact,
Cheers.
Good pull, but no. They just rebooted this
Frasier.
television show.
Frasier.
No, but this one's the reboot is already over again.
Oh. It's over again.
Yep. Features a very famous car, at least in the original.
Gosh, why are there so many things with cars?
Yeah, well, in the 1980s, everybody had fast cars. Ran for 8 years on its first original run.
Oh. No. Oh, Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon?
No, that was a movie first, then it became a TV show. I guess I gotta give hints here, right? He drove a car that they called Robin. Robin 1. It was a Ferrari 308 GTS, then it was an Audi, then it was a Jag. But the Ferrari's the one that everybody remembers. He had a butler that helped him. He had a friend that helped him.
Sounds like Batman.
No.
No idea.
Follows a private investigator who lives in Hawaii.
Yeah, no.
I might have the theme. I don't have the theme for it. Magnum PI.
Okay. Yeah.
Tom Selleck.
Obviously,
Magnum
I've
PI.
heard of
That
it,
intro's a good intro, though. 1980 there. Magnum PI. Those are the ones for yesterday. All right, let's get you a Thursday night football. We got to have a week, man. Like, we have been struggling. It starts tonight. San Francisco at home, a 3-point favorite over the Rams. 70% of public money, Ryan, on the Rams.
Yeah, after what they did to the Bills.
Right. So here we are. All right.
I would love it.
Rams coming in, winners of 3 of their last 4, including the win over Buffalo. They beat New Orleans, New England, lost to Philly. San Francisco coming in, beating Chicago, but they lost 3 straight prior. They've been battling injuries. Rams come in 5-2 against the spread their last 7 games, 6-2 straight up in their last 8. They don't play the 49ers well, though. Just 3-7 against the spread their last 10 against San Fran. Rams are 3-9 straight up in their last 12 games, and they've only won 1 of their past 5 games out there at, Levi Stadium or whatever? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there you go. On Thursday Night Football, though, Rams thrive. 6-1 against the spread their last 7 games on a Thursday. 49ers, nothing going well. 1-4 against the spread their last 5. They're only 4-10 against the spread their last 14 games at home. And a good bet is take the under on Thursday Night Football for them at home. 6 out of the last 9 home games on a Thursday. The under is hit. By the way, the over-under set for this one is
44.5.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
No, I think you're right.
Oh, really?
I think it was 40, and they like taking the under.
It's only 40.5.
I'm sorry, it's 49.
Oh,
whoa,
wow.
it's way off. I'm sorry, I'm way off. The over-under is 49. Oddshark likes the under. I just read it from Tony Farmer. Rams plus 2.5. Rams offense looked absolutely unstoppable, and I expect the market to react appropriately and push this number down. Rams are a much healthier team, and the 49ers have already ruled out 6 players, and several won't be back on the short week. They also like an individual of over Juwan Jennings, 68.5 receiving yards. He's been a beast for them lately. 3. I do like the under. I do love the under here.
I would love a shootout.
I think they're baiting you. And by the way, now it's 2.5.
I would love a shootout. Who you got? Anybody going tonight for the playoffs in fantasy?
I have Puka.
Okay.
I gotta look who I'm facing. I have a bye in one league.
So
I know
I'm only in really one league, and I'm going to the playoffs straight limping, Matt. Like,
yeah, everybody is. I mean, to a point.
But dude, I mean,
I made the playoffs in 5 out of my 6 leagues. One league I have a bye. I've got Puka going tonight, and that's it for me. He doesn't have anybody going.
I have Cooper Kupp and George Kittle. I need some big games, man.
In this matchup,
I have to start Thursday with a bang.
I don't have anybody in my other league. He has nobody going, so I really don't have much interest outside of Puka for tonight. You want to do a little parlay? What do you think?
Did you see Community Notes destroy Deebo Samuel?
No, about what?
Well, you know Community Notes?
I know, yeah. People can say whether
so
it's true
Deebo tweeted, and he since deleted it, but he tweeted
it's usually how it goes.
something along the lines, it's not I'm not the problem. I need the ball.
Yeah, I see that.
Community Notes responded to that and said, this is false. Deebo leads the team in drops.
Yeah. Well,
That's hilarious.
All right, 2.5. I want the hook. Make your pick.
I'll take the Rams.
I think I'm going to take the Rams too. Yeah. They're 7-6. San Francisco's 6-7. Vegas is begging you to take the Rams, though, are they not?
Yeah.
Are they not? I don't like it. I'll take... the computer really likes San Francisco. I go Rams. I'll buy on that. You and I on the Rams, plus the money. We'll take it 2.5. All right, appreciate everybody joining us back tomorrow. Full Football Friday. We'll get our picks in, get ready to go for the Browns and Kansas City tonight. Full court Cleveland. Make sure you check that out. Cavs back in action tomorrow as well. And keep your eye out for a new edition of Talking Track. We're going to record that here coming up a little bit. It's our new show talking about the horse racing. Yeah. Probable luck updates. Yeah, you know you love it. All right, so we'll get that coming up. Appreciate everybody joining us today. For Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.